Hi there, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ask Miss Rochford Anything. Today, I wanted to take a few moments to deal with a question that I received from one of my colleagues. And the question has to do with Blackboard Collaborate and Moodle. The question that was posed to me was, how is it possible to create a Blackboard session with automatic recording settings? So this is a fantastic question that I'm going to take a little bit of time to deal with today. And what I thought I'd do was not only answer the question, but maybe in the process as well, just share with you the steps that I take to create a Blackboard Collaborate session in Moodle and all of the different settings that I use and all of the different processes that I implement while I'm doing it. And that way you can see what my processes are and you can use what you find valuable throughout that. So I'll be demonstrating a few different things, like not only how to set the appropriate recording settings to be able to do it automatically, but I'll also take a look at how to have Moodle grade the sessions that kids are logging into, how to do conditional settings, how to restrict access, and different times that you might want to do that. And so that's what we're going to be taking a look at. So let's get going. Let's open up Moodle and get some Blackboard sessions here created. All right, so what I'm going to do here is you'll notice that I am currently on my classroom page in Moodle. And so what I'm going to do is, first of all, I need to make sure that editing is turned on, because if I don't have that turned on, then obviously I am not going to be able to edit anything. So I have editing turned on, then I'm going to scroll down to the section that I want to place a new recording in. I'm going to do one for my junior high section here. And so what I'm going to do, we're currently in week 4, and so I need to add a new week of classes for next week for when my kids will be logging in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Add an Activity and click on Blackboard Collaborate. This will open up a window. It will allow me to customize the settings for this particular Blackboard session that I'm creating. So first I need to start by creating a title. I'm going to call this Week 5 Classes. So here in the description portion, I'm not going to put anything in there right now, but usually what I'll include is some type of schedule. Usually I'll put in like a table that records the different class times as well as the different sessions that we'll be doing, who should be logging in, what we plan to cover online during that time. Actually, what I have recently started doing, and this is just this past week, is I've embedded a Google Calendar. I have a specific one that is my junior high calendar that has all the online session times as well as it's linked to Google Classroom, and so I have all the assignments that are due for that day part of that calendar. And so I embedded it so each time they log into class they can see, okay, am I logging in at the right time? Is this my session that I should be logging into? And oh look, I can see if I have assignments due today or not. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at programming in what time the session begins and what time it ends. So since this is for next week, let me take a look here, and I'm going to put it here, let's see, October 5, and we start in the morning here. And then we will have it, I usually have them go week-long sessions, and so I will have it ending on the Thursday. Okay, and so that's what I do for session begin and end times. In my classes, what I've done is I've divided the kids up into groups, and so I'm able to show them, just the particular group, their information. So for example, I have all the grade 9s grouped into the Science 9 group, and so when they log into my classroom, all that they can see is the information that pertains to them. They don't see any of the junior high information or the Science 10 information. They don't see any of that. They just see their grade 9 section and only their online sessions that they're supposed to be logging into. And so this, under common module settings, you choose whether or not it's visible. So this is show, means it's going to be seen. And then you can choose the group mode. Since I am putting this into the junior high section, that section is already programmed to be only visible to the junior high. And so I programmed this one here, the actual Blackboard Collaborate session, to be no groups, because within that junior high section, I don't have any additional groups. And so it's just going to be the junior high group that sees it. I'm going to close that up. And then the next thing I'm going to do is go to restrict access. I actually use this portion because what this section allows me to do is to determine when the students can access this recording and when they can't. So I'm currently scheduling a set of classes for next week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to restrict access so that they don't have access to this recording until the beginning of next week. So what I'll do in order to do that is this first little tab right here says allow access from, and so I'm going to enable that, and then I can choose the date when they will first be able to access this session. Okay, and so I put it as October 5, that's the beginning of the week there, and so it'll allow access, it'll be grayed out until that point in time. And you can actually choose what's going to happen. So down here at the bottom it says while access is prevented, I have it on, you can show the activity but it's grayed out, and they can see why it's grayed out and why they can't access it. But there is also the option to hide the activity entirely. So it can still be there and you'll see it as the instructor, but the students won't be able to see the activity at all if you select this one. There are a number of different other options that you can use as well for restricting access. So for example, they have to score a certain grade on something, or a certain activity needs to be completed first before they can get in. I don't use that for any of my recorded sessions. I just use the allow access from. So I'm going to close that one up. Then I'm going to go to activity completion. One of the things that I do in my classes, I use badges for the kids, and so in order to facilitate that, particularly the automation of awarding those badges, I have set up activity completion on my course page. And so what they can do for this, I set it as take a look at the completion. If they finish it, they're able to mark the activity as completed. Okay, there's a couple of other options. I can choose not to as well. But for those ones that I want activity completion rules on, mark that. And what it does is it allows a little square on the right-hand side of the recording once we're back on the class page, so that when students go and they log in and they finish for the week, they're allowed to click it off and it shows that they finished it and they have participated in those classes. The next tab that I'm going to take a look at is the one entitled Session Attributes. And this is where you can set whether or not the recording starts automatically or if you wait and do it manually once you log into the class. So the way that I do that here is just right next to recording mode. Automatically right now it's set to manual, and so if you don't change it, it will be manual recording. But you can change it here to automatic, and that's usually what I do, so that as soon as the first person logs in, then it does start automatically recording. The other thing that you can do here is you can adjust how many, the number for the maximum talkers, and you can go all the way up to 6. I usually keep it at 3. The next tab that I sometimes use is the session grading, and so you can choose to grade the session, which means that in Moodle, a grade will be assigned to the grade book if you have that activated. And so to do that, all you need to do is check the little box right here, and then you can choose what the grade is out of. And so you have a list all the way up to 100. You just choose whatever your session would be out of if you're going to choose to grade it, and then that's that. So those are the major settings that I use and adjust when I'm setting up the Blackboard Collaborate session. So once I'm finished with that, I'm going to save and display. And what this is going to do is it's going to take me to the class information about it. So everything that I've set up, it has all of that there. Now, one of the other things that I've just found this year, and I don't know if anybody else has seen it before, but this is brand new to me this year, is that you can add a preload file. And let me tell you, this has come in so handy for me this year. Last year, I wasn't aware of it. I don't even know if we had access to it through the program that we used last year. But last year it would be, I was quickly going from class to class to class, and so I'd be logging into my next class, and then we'd have to wait for my PowerPoint to upload as I was trying to get that going, and I just found, it was, a bit of a waste of time that it could have been spent on other things, because my PowerPoint would always take quite a bit to load. But this preload file has become quite a lifesaver, because what I do is I set up the whiteboard file ahead of time, and then I can add it here to the preload file. And so when the first person logs into the class, whether it be me or a student, the PowerPoint is automatically put up. And so they see my welcome slide right away. They don't have to wait for me to get there. And so it's not, a blank classroom until the teacher arrives. And so this has been a great thing for me this year. And so all you need to do to add a preload file is you click the plus icon right next to the portion that says preload file. And what that will do is it will bring you to the screen where you can choose a file. And so the only limitation with this is that the type of file does need to be a whiteboard file. And so you need to choose on your computer where you would have it, okay, and then you would upload it. I don't currently have my week 5 whiteboard files done. They're all as PowerPoints and I haven't converted them yet. So currently working on that. So I won't select anything there. But you just simply choose the file and then click on upload this file. And then down in the corner here, you'll see it doing the upload, how much percentage it's uploaded, and then once it's done, it will bring you to a screen that will say it is now uploaded. Would you like to continue? And then you click on continue. So that's kind of my process, the different things that I go through as I'm setting up a Blackboard Collaborate session. Hopefully you've been able to find some value in it. Hopefully you have a thing or two that you can take away from this and maybe utilize in setting up your own classes. And if nothing else, at least now you know how to set it to automatically record. Thanks for joining me on this session of Ask Miss Rochford Anything, and I'll see you next time.